Hey guys, today I was perusing Kijiji and I came across an ad for a free snowblower. So I messaged the guy. I was the first one to respond, and I guess I got it, so I'm on my way to go pick it up. Buddy's cleaning out his garage and says he wants it gone, so I'm on my way to go pick it up, see what it looks like. Alright, so I've been driving for about an hour now. Just about to pull up to the buddy's house and pick up the snowblower. I think we're about 500 meters away. And I guess we'll check it out when we get there. Alright, so here's the snowblower. I just picked it up. But apparently Buddy says there's gas in it and it still runs. So I'm going to try firing it up here and see what happens. Choke on. See what happens here. Take it home, just have a quick look at it, and I guess see what we're gonna do with it from here. Alright, so that's unbelievable. I just picked up a free snowblower and everything seems to work pretty good on it. I'm gonna take it home, probably take the pan off the bottom, just grease everything up, maybe switch the spark plug, do an oil change, and maybe sell it or see what I can trade for. Alright, so it's been about a week since I've worked on this snowblower. I picked up a few parts for it. You guys are probably wondering why I'm doing a snowblower video in July. It's because A, it was free, and B, this is the perfect time of season to pick up something like this. I mean, if you got somewhere to keep it or store it, when wintertime comes around, you can flip them for a pretty good coin. That being said, if you do flip stuff, make sure you don't put too much money into it, because you want to get your return on investment, right? Don't spend too much time. I guess I'll show you some of the stuff that I picked up and we'll start working on it. All right, so here's some of the things that I picked up. I got these shear pins. I'll show you what's going on with the auger in a minute. Picked up the spark plug repair kit for the threads. I damaged the threads taking the original spark plug out of it. And I got these handle bolt kits. Now there's two in here. This is for a lawnmower, for the handles for each side. I'm only going to use one of these, but they thread onto the chute, and I'll show you that now too. All right, so when I was working on this the other day, I just wanted to take the spark plug out just to see what it looked like, and it was the original spark plug that came in this machine. It was called a torch, and it was really badly carboned up, and it actually damaged some of the threads when I took it out. So I used that repair kit just to tidy up the threads, and I got a new plug in it now. I put an NGK in there. The other issue that I noticed is here. I think this is probably the original bolt that was on the chute, but it should have that nut plastic handle knob on there so you can just quickly undo it and change your direction for your deflector. Now, that's what the handle repair kit's for. I'm going to put that on. And down here, this is one thing that drives me absolutely nuts, is when people put bolts in. Now, those are graded bolts that won't snap if you hit anything. That's why they make shear pins. Now you hit something with those bolts in here, you're going to damage or bend these auger blades or damage your worm gear. And if you damage this worm gear, you might as well buy a new snowblower because this piece is very expensive. And the other thing, buddy told me when I picked it up that the electric start didn't work on the snowblower. He said this was a plug for the electric start and it was missing a piece, but this is coming out of the stator, so this is for a light, or there's another little piece in here for a kill switch. This had a cover that popped off. I guess he didn't realize it, and the electric start works. Here, I'll plug it in just to show you now. Got the extension cord. Turns over. All in all, not a bad find for free. I mean, it's in decent shape. I didn't realize, you probably see me struggling trying to get it in gear at the side of the road. I was trying to move these. You got to push them down to move it. They lock into place. And locks. But yeah, no, it works good. The other thing that these wires are used for is like heated handle grips, which I guess this doesn't have that option. But I guess we'll get to replacing some of this stuff. We're going to take the pan off underneath, see what that looks like, and we're just going to check out the valve clearance real quick. Alright, so I got a 13 mil wrench here. I'm just going to take off this bolt, loosen it up, and you can see now this goes up and down nicely. You don't want to be getting a wrench when you're trying to snow blow, especially when it's cold outside. So got one of these nice new plastic knobs here. It's got the same thread. It'll thread right on. There we go. That works a lot better. I like to make sure everything works good, close to original as possible. I mean, when I flip stuff, I don't want to give garbage away. I like to make sure it's in good condition and it's working good for the customer or whoever I sell something to. I mean, they might come back and buy something from me again, or good reviews. Like I sell a lot of stuff off of Kijiji, so I want to keep a good customer review. All right, so now I'm going to remove these bolts that Buddy put in, or whoever put in. Put in the shear pins. Like I said, the shear pins are meant to shear. If you hit something, oh, look, that's corroded. It snapped right off. And that's stuck. Maybe I can break it free. Oh, it's been in there a while. I have to get a drift punch and hit that out. This one's not even tight. It's getting tighter near the end. Go. Get this guy off, and then we'll try to work on that other one. Stripped. There we go. Alright, so there's the damaged bolt. Got a drift pin and a mallet. Hopefully I can hit it out. penetrating oil. Alright, see if I hit this out with this drift pin. It's not coming.
Starting to mushroom my head.
I guess I'll get a torch. See, that's about to break. Spinning at the top's not. That's not good. What a pain this is. That's not a good sign. It's gonna snap. Oh, might as well just snap it off, I guess. So we get it from the other side. Alright, let's see if we can get the shear pin in. There we go. Just had to pass that burr. Let's see where the pin is on the other side. So if you can see this, I'm trying to turn these blades. The scraper blade's touching the ground, but so are the blades for the auger. That's no good. So I'm gonna have to fix that now too. Just those grinding pads on the side. through. Let's clean it up. There we go. Perfect. So these keeper pins on the bottom. There we go. Shear pins. All right, guys, so got some new shear pins in here, which is good. And if you hit something, you know, the shear pin will shear and it'll save the life of this snowblower auger. All right, so I got 2 extra shear pins here. And in case you don't know, snowblowers, some of them have this little compartment here, like this little tool glove box. Just push it back and open. This is for your shear pins. That's where your spares go. Alright, try to take these off. They're pretty corroded. Yeah, that's not coming. And that's stripped. Oh. Just gotta figure this one out now. Alright. So I got a pair of vice grips on the other side holding this bolt. I got one off. I got this ratchet thing for stripped nuts. And these freaking things are seized on here. I still got the other side to do. There we go. Bolt broke. There we go. I get new hardware. Get new hardware, and I guess I'll adjust this. Alright, so I got some new hardware here. And sew these shoes back on. And carriage bolts. These are absolutely seized. Had to basically cut them off. You can see them here. That one broke. Everything's so freaking corroded. And I'll just have to trim the ends of those off. Trimmed off. Nuts won't stick out anymore and won't catch on anything. Alright, so I got 2 pieces of flat stock here, just steel. Maybe 1/4 inch. I'm gonna put underneath each side and adjust the shoes just to get it high enough off the ground where the blades won't hit. I'll do each side independently. There you go, got a bit of a gap there now. Let's go right on the shoe. Do the other side. So it's just sitting on the metal part here, and I'm butting it up to the end of the shoe. There we go. There we go. Let's have a look here. It's not hitting. There we go. That's perfect because that back scraper is in line with the blade hitting the ground. You don't want that rubbing on the ground. You want it to keep a little bit of a space off the ground. It'll hit sidewalks, any uneven, I mean, it's just supposed to take some of the snow, help lift it up. People drop them on the ground all the time to try to get the most amount of snow off the ground as they possibly can. But when you do that, if you have an interlock driveway, if you have uneven sidewalks, it hits it and it'll actually damage that scraper blade. So you want to keep it a little bit, maybe an 1/8 inch off the ground. So I think that's it for this end. I'll look at the other side of it. Alright, so here I'm just going to use my floor jack. I'm going to put it underneath the snowblower, take off the wheel, and do an oil change. Just going to raise the back end up a bit. So it's just a little bit off the ground. I don't want anything too dramatic. Hopefully this can come off easy. Everything seems to be freaking seized and corroded on this thing. This thing's been a nightmare to work on. Looks like it might be seized. So it's funny. You get something for free, you think, oh, I'll fix this up real quick and sell it. Yeah. Here. That's if I can even get the wheel off. Well, guess we're going back to the torch. The last time they did an oil change was on this. Alright, I'm going to plan B. Plan B is just to let the oil drip out, hit the tire, let it all just kind of make a bit of a mess. I'll put a catch pan underneath and you can change the oil that way. But right now I just want to drain it, then drain the gas, and then flip it up on that and see underneath. Alright, after a little bit of heating and spraying it with a penetrating oil, I think I finally got this to come out. There's the pin. From heating it up and beating it, the tire's loose, which is nice. Nice. Now I put a pan here, drip the oil. Oh, the first bolt that's not seized. So that oil is black and it stinks. And if you can see, there's brown traces in there, so I think those are traces of water. Not much, just a little bit. Oil's really old. Nice thing about using the oil, it's like Mother Nature's rust proofing. I've said this once and I've said it before. Try to look after this equipment because it costs a lot more in the long run to buy a new one or to buy parts and fix it. And you can just wipe it down, clean it, do routine maintenance, and it should last you a long time. I mean, the prices of them today are ridiculous. Not worth what they're asking for it, and they're made cheaper. The newer ones are garbage. Plastic camshafts and plastic engine parts. The old stuff's a lot better. Mind you, the new stuff looks a lot nicer, a lot flashier. You don't need these too tight, you just want a little snug. Alright, so I'm going to take off the cover here, try to expose the fuel line and drain the fuel, see what that looks like. I did remove this exhaust shield here. It was getting kind of rusty. I sanded it down, gave it a quick coat of paint just to make it look a little prettier. Get a wrench for that one, I think. And the extension. Beautiful. I believe this should just pop off. Ooh, it's attached by a sticker. Check this out. It's attached by the sticker here. Right there. I'll just pull the knife off and I'll just trim that sticker straight down, and that way it's still on both sides. There we go. Little helper. Like I said, I'm going to keep the sticker on, but we're just going to trim her off. That way if we ever want to separate these again, or whoever, I can just separate it and then I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so now I'm going to try to remove this cover. Try to be careful, don't break anything. Hooked on something here. There. Something's tight. Alright, I get a container here, it's all cleaned out. I'm just going to release this fuel line. Dump it in this container and see what kind of condition this fuel's in. There we go. Drain the fuel into here now. Pop off the gas cap and get more suction. Alright, so she's empty of fuel now. Cap this off. I don't know if you guys can see that sediment in the bottom there. That's all water. Let's see if we can get a better view of it. There it is. All that's water in the fuel. So I'm going to pull off the carburetor and give the carburetor a good cleaning. Alright, so I'm going to remove this carburetor now. Give this a good cleaning. 10 mil. Yep. Just loosen those up. Pry tool. Get this pry tool here and take off this thing. There we go. There's the carburetor. I leave that on. Take that off. What the hell? Turn spring. There we go. Carburetor should be free. All right, let's put that on a bench and work on it. All right, so now I gotta check the timing on here. Take this cover off, should be 10 again. This is good to do, especially if it's older, because metal wears out, pieces playing against each other all the time. So it's good to check it, make sure it's still in timing. And cause it to run rough or backfire if it's not on. As you can see, there it is. Going to remove that spark plug. That's better. So like I said, when you do the timing, there's an easy way to do this. It's not rocket science. people say top dead center and do the valves. You can see that they're both tight right now. So now the exhaust is going in. So we're on our intake, compression, power. It did that bump there, so the compression release is working on the motor. And that will do our exhaust. So we're on our exhaust stroke, so we'll go back to intake, compression, does the bump, power. So we're on our exhaust stroke now. So this one should be loose. As long as you're on one stroke on the other, you can adjust the valve timing on the other one. Don't worry about top dead center. As long as you're on one stroke on the other one, you're good to set the timing on the other side. So I believe it said 5 to 7 inch thousandths of an inch. So for the intake, so your intake's always on the exhaust or on the carburetor side, and your exhaust is obviously always on the exhaust side. Let's see here. These are so worn out. So there's 6 thousandths there. So we'll go in between. So it goes in, it's super tight, but that one should be okay. Let's try the exhaust. So now on the intake stroke, this one should be loose. So that one said between 7 and 9 thousandths of an inch. So there's 8. We'll try 8. We'll go in between. Yeah, it goes in. It's got drag, so the timing's good on this motor. Are lined up and put her back together. All right, I'm gonna put this carburetor back on. It's all clean and ready to go. I did record it, but my camera kind of tipped down when I was recording, so the footage isn't any good, but basically I just took it apart, cleaned it with carburetor, cleaned it, used a bristle at the end of a wire brush, cleaned out all the little holes on the jet, and blew it out with shop air and put it back together. So I'm just gonna put it back on. The gasket's already on there. Hook up this, I think it's the throttle linkage. Here we got the return spring. There we go. It's a good time to put the gas line on. Nothing's in my way. Pinch this clamp. Walk the ring over, clamp ring. Put the shroud back on. There we go. Shield. And these little nuts. So I temporarily have just put electrical tape on this breather hose for the overhead valve cover. I'm gonna order a new one. This is just until I get it. You guys ever have Milwaukee tools that just break apart? I usually have the issue where the triggers break, or in this case, the battery keeps falling out of the bottom for some reason. If you do, leave a comment. I'd like to hear about your Milwaukee issues. All right, so the carburetor's on. We'll flip this up on end, take the bottom pan off, and see what it looks like under there. All right, so I flipped the snowblower up on end. I'm just gonna take these wheels off. Hopefully this one's not seized. It's not, thank God. The wheel comes off nice. There should be 2 bolts here. There we go. Just a plastic cover. There we go. Underneath actually looks really nice. Spring's a little rusty, but I mean, it's still in good shape. All right, so this is the inside of the snowblower. This is your drive gear. It's got a little rubber on it. It goes on this drive plate. It's the rubber is good. It's not cracked. It's not missing any pieces. This could cause a slipping if you're trying to drive. If it's missing pieces or if it's just gone, it won't drive anywhere. The closer this goes to the center, the slower you will go. This is how it changes speeds. And then when you shift it over here on this side of the plate, this is how it goes into reverse. So if you're having transmissions issues, that'd be a good thing to check. So that's reverse, that's low gear, and that's high speed. Just in case anybody's ever wondering. So basically just gonna kind of lube everything up. Everything looks really good under there. All right, so I like to use Bel-Ray waterproof grease. It's a bearing grease, but it works great because it won't wash off. Helps keeps parts lubricated. Don't need much, just gonna put a bit on here, prevent rusting. And keep this sliding freely. Alright. And just put a little bit of grease on the spring, help prolong the life of it. You know, just a little bit of surface rust on there. There you go. Just keep the air and salt from eating away at it. There you go. I'm going to do the same with this return spring up here. Let's get a little bit of lubrication. There we go. Now I'll get some penetrating oil. in here so I don't get any oil on the belts. I don't want them to slip. There we go. There you go. Well, that's it for the bottom. Put that together. It's just a plastic shroud. This goes in there. Now, this being plastic, don't want to tighten it up too much. If you notice it's got like a collar on it, you can't tighten it up too much to crack the plastic. Beautiful. Just gonna kind of clean up some of this rust on here. Not too much, but just enough so the wheel goes on easy, comes off easy, doesn't get seized on there. There we go. So now, I'm just going to find a drill bit that fits in this hole. Seems like it works. I'm going to clean these holes up a bit. And that way those pins won't seize when I put them back in. Put a little bit of grease on them too. Alright, so I got these pins here for the wheel. I'm not going to film this, but I'm going to take these to my bench grinder. I'm just going to clean them up real quick and then I'll put the wheels back on. Alright, so I tidied these up on my bench grinder. They look nice. Got all the rust off of them, cleaned out the holes. So now, to help prevent rusting, I'm going to take the same grease. I'm just going to lube up these shafts. Kind of a preventative maintenance. That way, helps prevent rusting. They said this is waterproof grease, so it won't wash away too easily. And then it'll help the wheel slide on and off nicely. And then I'm going to do the same thing when I insert the pins for the wheels, because I don't want the wheels to get seized on again. And we did clean out the holes of the wheels with a drill bit. Let's clean the rust out of there. This bad boy back on. Look how nice that moves now. Line up the hole. Grab a pin. Alright. I got the grease here. Bring you over, show you. On this side. So I lined up the hole here. Just going to cover this pin with grease because I don't want it to rust. Put it in the hole. Just line it up. There we go. Just line it up. Put the cotter pin on. I'll do it reverse. There we go. So I'll do the same to the other side now, and I'll flip it back up. Finish putting the shrouds and everything on the motor. We'll top it up some gas and oil and see how she fires up. All right, so I don't know if anybody else does this out there, but one thing I like to do is penetrating oil, motor oil. I like to just spray it on, wipe it on with a rag, wipe it in, and it makes a great cleaner. It'll take off a lot of stuff. And then, if you grab another rag, wipe all the residue off, like this. It's like Armor All. Works good on like paint, works good on plastic especially. Cleans up nicely. Just make sure you get all that residue off. And then, a little trick I like to do. Instead of getting like Windex or anything like that. Look how nice and new that looks. Wipe it off of the paint surfaces. Makes it look nice and new. It's a quick way while you're here working on it, while you're underneath anyways, because you're under there, you might as well clean it up. Make it look nice. And then it'll be all nice and ready, nice and clean for you when you sell it. I'm using the extra little layer of protection too from the elements for a little bit anyways until it wears off, but it's like anything. It's almost like a rust proofing. There's a little secret I do. Alright, so now we're going to start putting this stuff back together, all these shrouds. This is the retaining clip for the spark plug wire. Keeps that out of the way so it doesn't get burnt. Put this guy back on. And we need the primer hose. Okay, so now we'll put the primer hose back on. Put that on here. Get this retaining spring clip up, out of the way. The other end onto the primer. There we go. And I'll just carefully try to maneuver this back on. So that goes there like that. There we go. In behind. There we go. That looks better. Just like that. That's better. Let's line up. Let's line up. Yeah, let's get some of these bolts back in. Just to hold everything in place. So I'm gonna bolt here. This is those nuts are on the end of the carburetor. Not threading everything in right now, I'm just kind of lining everything up so I can make sure everything fits before I tighten it. There we go. Nice. Now I can tighten everything up. Let's do the carburetor first. Oh, it's size 10. Extension. There goes the battery again. There we go. So if you see this is a joke. All right, so I got my Milwaukee battery here. Keeps separating. This wouldn't be Fixall Garage if we didn't fix this. So let's just throw some tuck tape around this right now. And that way it doesn't fall off on me anymore while I'm working, because it's really starting to piss me off. There we go. There you go. Shouldn't fall apart on me anymore. Now, the only reason why I use tuck tape on this is because it's the first thing I found to hold it up. I'm sick of this battery to fall off on me every time I go to use it. So I'll probably end up gluing it together. Alright, so now that shield I was talking about earlier for the exhaust, I just put a quick coat of paint on it, sanded the rust off, and made it look nice. That way, whoever gets this next will look nicer for them. There we go. Nice. So, put the nuts in here. Lined up. Oh, it's tight. Take cover to put on, but it works. There we go. Now, like I was saying, that crown penetrating oil, or you can use motor oil, works really good for detailing. I've pretty much gone over this whole snowblower already. The thing looks almost brand new. It's a nice little trick, and like I said, it helps prevent like rust and just protects it for just a little bit until it wears off, but works better than, like, you're not going to go get wax and wax your snowblower unless you're that anal about it. This will make it look nice and new. Make it look like you're proud to own it. And it'll look good for whoever wants to buy it. It's not only do I want it running good, I want it to look its best. It doesn't take very long either, right? You just spray it on, wipe off one rag, and then use another rag and wipe it down. Get all that grease off of it, you just spray it on it. It takes off all the film and gives a nice shine. And if it has any of these tags on it for model numbers and serial numbers, it's good to keep in good condition, because if you ever need to buy parts for it, that's what they go off of, model and serial numbers. And if you don't have that, you're gonna have a hard time finding parts for your machine. It's good to keep those stickers in good condition. I'm happy to say that this is actually in great condition, and it's got all those numbers and serial numbers. But I got lucky because this didn't really need anything. There's more time I put into it. There we go. Looking nice. Alright, let's put all these caps back on it. Alright, so we got our choke cap. There we go. Fuel cap. Put this here. And our ignition key. Nice. There we go. As well make these all nice and shiny. There we go. Let's add some fuel and some oil, and we'll fire her up. Alright, so this calls for 1 liter of oil, or 946 milliliters, which is basically what comes in one of these. So I'll just dump the whole thing in. If I could get the cap off, whole thing's spinning. Oh, the whole thing's screwed in screws. Look at that. The cap must have been screwed on really tight. Oh, let's fix that. So like I said, that oil stunk. It was black. I don't know when was the last time they did an oil change, so it doesn't surprise me that this is capsule seized on there. So. Oh my God, there we go. You don't need to over torque those caps, just hand tight. And I'm gonna tighten this on though. I don't want that to happen again. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab a funnel here, put the funnel in, and I'm just gonna top her up with oil. Nice new clean golden color oil. This motor's gonna be happy. I'll take this out here, see where we are. And, oh, she's perfect. You can see it, it's just right at the edge there. Just at the full mark. It's perfect. So one full 941 ml bottle. That's all you need. Or 1 liter. Let's top her up with fuel. So this thing's been a little bit of a nightmare to work on due to the rusty bolts and things being seized, but we got her. looks nice. It's going to be in good shape for the next person who wants it. Like I said, this is a 30-inch 10 horse, so it's a heavy-duty snowblower. 2-stage. Top her up with fresh fuel. Now, I don't use high octane in my stuff up here. In Canada, we go 91 to 94 octane. So where I get it from is 91 octane. You know, just a little over half tank. Alright, let's try firing her out. So she's filled with gas, filled with oil. Turn it on to run. We're going to choke it, which I think is this way. Prime it. And we're going to turn her on. Turn the fuel on first. See, she fires up. She runs nice. All right, guys, here's the final product. She's all done. You can see the 30-inch pulling snowblower. It's all in great shape. It's running well. Idle's nice. Looks really, really good. You can see the paint job on the shrouds. Not 100%, but it looks a lot better than what it was. Everything's in good shape and working running order. And that oil really shined her up nicely. They say you just wipe off the residue and it looks nice. So this might be up for sale on Kijiji. Please like and subscribe. It'll help out the channel, help me keep creating content. If you guys are still watching, I appreciate it. And thanks for watching.